In this video, we're going to look at powers and roots. Okay, so these examples are all going to be pretty short, but we do have 8 examples in total. Okay, so let's get started here. So you see something like this, anything to the 0 power. Okay, anything to the 0 power always equals the same thing, which is 1. So what that means is, so if you have C5 to the 0 power, that equals 1. If you see 5 million to the 0 power, that also equals 1. Okay, so that's to the 0 power. Okay, what about to the negative power? Right, those can be a little confusing. So I see 6 to the negative 2. What does that equal? Okay, so when you see a negative exponent like that, it's going to be a fraction, right? And at the top is just going to be a 1. Don't really worry about why, that's just how it works. And then it's just going to be, so like 6 to the negative 2. So 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. And that's what's going to be in the denominator here at the bottom, right? And that's our answer. That's all you do. So just one of those little things, like you just got to memorize how to do it. Want to see another one? 3 to the negative 2. Okay, same thing, right? We see negative exponent, we know it's a fraction. The numerator, we put 1. 3 squared is 3 times 3, or 9. 1/9. Pretty easy, right? One last one, just for fun. Okay, doing all the same stuff, right? 7 to the negative 2, we know it's a fraction. 1 in the numerator. 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. That's it. Okay, not too bad, right? That's negative exponents. It's just 1 over whatever the number would be if there wasn't a negative there. Okay, so that was already 4 examples, so we're halfway home. Okay, so far we've know anything to the 0 power is 1, and then those negative exponents. Okay, so what if we have to add 2 negative exponents? What if I have something like this? 4 to the negative 2 plus 2 to the negative 2. What does that equal? Okay, so 4 squared is 16, right? So 4 to the negative 2 is 1 over 16. Doing the same stuff we just did. Plus 2 to the negative 2 is, so 2 squared is 4, and we put a 1 on top, 1/4. Okay, so we have 1/16 plus 1/4. All right, so how do we add these together? So here we need the common denominator, right? So we want both of these denominators to have 16 on them on the bottom. So we're just going to go and multiply 1/4 times 4 over 4. Those big parentheses, right? And that will get us 4/16, right? 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So then we have 4/16 plus what we had originally, 1/16, right? And then the rule is when we have the denominator the same, the number at the bottom is the same, we just keep it the same for our answer, and we can add the numbers in the numerator at the top. And we got 5/16. Okay, so that's how you do that one. It's just adding negative exponents together. Really, the key part is just knowing how to convert it into a negative exponent into a fraction. And then after that, it was just adding fractions, right? Finding the common denominator. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, you'll see something like this maybe. Okay, so here I have 2 to the 4th times 2 to the 6th. Okay, so when you see this, like the base is the same, so the base is that number 2, right? It's the same on each of them, then it'll equal this. And so when you have something like this, then you're going to add the exponents. So the key question here is, do you know to either add the exponents, or do you think you're supposed to multiply them? So when you have them lined up like this, where you're just multiplying 2 with the same base, add the exponents. Now you could also, though, get a question like this. This is, so 2 different rules for 2 different types of questions. If it was 2 to the 4th, to the 6th, right? So we don't have this first one, this one right here, right? The bases were the same. Here, we don't have two different bases, right? And so when you have it like this, we actually multiply those exponents, and that ends up being 2 to the 24th. So you have two very similar looking questions, right? When we have two bases, we add them, right? When there's only one base, but these two exponents, one inside the parentheses, one outside the parentheses, then we multiply. Okay, so really all of this stuff is just memorizing this stuff as far as how to handle it. Okay, and then we just got one more type of question, and we'll call it a video. So in the last one, it's with cube root. Okay, so cube root, so we'll just abbreviate and call it CR. So what's the cube root of 27, let's say? Okay, so cube root basically means like x to the third, right? You're gonna multiply a number together 3 times, where when it's a square root, it's like the square root of, say, the square root of 16 is 4, right? And that means 4 times 4 is 16, right? So here with a cube root, they're saying x times x times x equals 27. Okay, so that would be x to the third equals 27. Okay, so for a standardized exam, meaning that it's going to be multiple choice, the best way is to just plug in the answers, right, and see which one works, right? So say your first answer choice is 2, okay, and you go, okay, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. All right, can't be that one. All right, what about 3? Okay, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, looks good. There's our answer. The cube root of 27 is 3. So plugging in is going to be the best way for you to go about that. So what about a different one? What about for the number 64? Okay, same thing. Plug in the answer choices and find the one that works right. You're just going to multiply whatever answer choice they give you times itself 3 times. Okay, so in this case, the correct answer is 4, right? And 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16 times 4 equals 64, right? And that's your answer. So that's really how you go about doing cube roots when you have multiple choice. Better to just go ahead and plug in your answer choices than learning how to solve it the other way. You'll get it right more often just plugging it in, and I think it'll be a little faster for you as well. All right, so that's everything you need to know for powers and roots. It's a quick review. Any number to the 0 power equals 1. With negative exponents, it's going to be a fraction, 1 in the numerator, and then just pretend there's no negative on it, and whatever that equals, that's what's in the denominator. Right, so like when we did 6 to the negative 2, that equaled 1 over 36, because 6 squared is 36. That's what we put in the denominator. Adding negative exponents, you do the same thing you just did, and then you'll just end up adding fractions. When you're multiplying, like we did this, right? So if you have two bases that are the same, right, I'll give you a different number. Like here's 2 to the third times 2 to the 7th, let's say. All right, so you have something like that, then you're going to add those two exponents, right, but leave the base the same. The base doesn't change, so you don't want the answer to be 4 to the 10th or something like that, right? Base stays the same in the answer, it's still 2. Add those exponents together, we get 2 to the 10th. Right, again, just giving you a different example of what we went over. But if we have like 2 to the third, this is the other type of example, to the 7th, so we don't have two bases, it's just one base, and then one exponent inside the parentheses, one outside. When you see something like that, again, leave the base the same, multiply them. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, and then we have cube roots, which we just did here at the end. Okay, so that's powers and roots for you. Hopefully the video helped you out.